Yeah, Wazzy's World, party time, excellent. Fucking help me at all.
I tried.
Hey, yo, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the WazzyCircus Radio, the show where I sit down with my best friends, man, from around the world and shit. Thank you to Skydive Lone Star for taking us up fast and letting us come down faster. You know what I mean? Thank you to Texas Skydiving for running an amazing drop zone. One of my favorite places ever. Thank you to the donkeys that meet you at dawn for breakfast, man. It's a pretty cool place. Check out the sunrise and hang out with a llama. Where do you get to do that? Nowhere. All right. Big shout out to my job, the Windy Tube. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Haha. Cool. My guest today, almost 10,000 skydives, 6,000 tandems, almost, something like that.
I was trying to figure that out the other day. I think it's 7,500.
Holy shit. Career skydiver. Yeah. Love the sport.
Yeah.
I've known you for 6-7 years, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Right on. James Taylor, what up? Welcome to the show.
The one and only.
That's him, right there. Yeah, man. 6,000 tandems.
Yeah, well, people just keep paying me money to push them out of airplanes. So.
Is that not the best fucking job on the planet?
It's pretty hard to beat. There are a lot of worse things to be doing.
There are.
So.
Do you have any memorable, like, what's the craziest? How many cutaways do you have?
Cutaways. Oh.
Yeah. How many?
Well,
let me guess. 6,000 tandems. Fuck, that's a lot of tandems. I got 2,200, and I thought I was a boss. So here we go. And I have 13 cutaways and 2,000 tandems. So if I triple that, you've got about 40 fucking cutaways under your belt.
I would say it's closer to 30, but yeah, you're in the ballpark.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, it happens.
Some motherfuckers don't work.
And, they seem to come in waves. So you have a few weekends where you just cut away, and then nothing for years, So that's the way it goes.
Isn't that nuts? That is how it goes.
Yeah.
But not really with tandem. I think you just get cutaways.
Yeah,
I was always traveling from drop zone to drop zone, and when you get to a new place, it's just luck of the draw, man.
A new place, and it's the nature of tandems is you attach a new person to yourself every time, so you don't know what you're gonna get.
Right.
Necessarily.
Right. Have you ever thought about being an examiner?
I did go. I went to the examiner course.
Okay.
A few years ago, and I got all the way through it and decided it wasn't for me. I just, it just depends. I mean, I say this all the time. If you don't love it and you're not motivated, it's not worth sinking the effort and the expense and the time and everything. And I went to the examiner course thinking, I'll give it a shot, and I found that I didn't love it. So
where did you take the course?
At DeLand.
At DeLand. Do you remember who taught it?
I wish I remember the name of the guy. He was another baldy like me.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy. He was kind of a scary dude. He said at the end of the course, and I was bowing out, and I was like, man, I don't think this is for me. He said, you better finish this fucking course or I'm going to hunt you down and kill you. Like he was serious. And I was like, I'll think about it.
Oh, that sucks.
But,
Do you think it maybe was the course that turned you off and not the examiner position?
Well, it was very strange because they had a bunch of other examiners there that were just sitting in for some reason and being critical and, not really helping. They were just sort of there to show off their knowledge, I guess. And so I don't know, I found the whole process a little, it was, so that's the way it goes at some of these things. But
yeah, so my 2 cents would be is I went to Skydive Ratings at Z Hills, and Brom and Ellie Clement, you couldn't ask for a better teaching structure. It was so nice. It was hardcore. It was cutting edge. It was pushing you, but it was fun.
I've heard good things. Yeah.
That if you would have told me that you had that with them, I would almost call you a liar.
Oh, right.
It's that
yeah.
nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I needed to have a a better experience. But also, I just think, the motivation wasn't there for me. Like, it was presented to me as a way to make money, and just that alone, just money making alone, is not enough of a motivation for me. I also need to be passionate and have some have something in it for me, that fulfills me. So
right. Well, I always say that like money should be a byproduct of what you do.
yeah, I mean, do what you love and the money will follow. So yeah, I wasn't sufficiently motivated to do that. Keep going through with it.
To run an AFFI course is like a lot. You have to have lodging. You have to have access to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but do you have your AFF rating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many AFF jumps you got?
I think just a little over 2,000. So.
You say that so modestly.
Well,
2,000 AFFs is a lot of fucking AFFs.
We had.
That's a lot of being upside down.
Yeah. Well, I always say it's either fun or exciting. So, or no, that's.
It's either fun or exciting.
No,
it's probably both.
It's either boring or fun. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're winning, it's boring.
Yeah.
That's what you pray for.
Yeah, that's what you want is a nice, boring, routine skydive. But if it doesn't go that way, you're having fun.
Where did you start?
I started at Lexington.
You started at Lexington?
Yeah.
Cindy owned it then, or was it somebody else?
Yeah, it was Cindy. And, it's funny. I think Cecily, you had her on last year, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think all three of us have kind of the same jump origin story, where I started off landscaping, being the mower. I was mowing the lawns out there, and I was planting trees and stuff. Yep. And started packing chutes, and Cindy was like, you want to learn how to be an instructor? And I thought about that for about half a second, and here I am today. So.
No shit. How many jumps did you have when she offered that to you?
None. It was just like, if you're going to be hanging out here all the time, then you might as well learn how to jump and be. Yeah. So.
Hey man, that doesn't exist anymore.
You don't think so?
Anymore. No. Maybe in a small town. That's how I came up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I heard, yeah.
That was before the commercialization of this. Oh, fuck, man. Every generation says it's more commercialized.
The corporatization.
The corporatization of the sport. It was like, hey, man, guys need staff. He'll train you himself. The DZO. You find the right guy with a plane. Yeah. He's got to turn loads. He's trying to make money. And dude, that is fucking dope, James.
Yeah.
So at zero, hey, man, you want to do this?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, and here's the thing. And here's us sounding like a bunch of old guys talking about the youth today. Mm-hmm. But this is, I mean, at that time, I feel like we still had a work ethic. So you could recognize in somebody that was mowing your lawn that, hey, maybe this guy's going to work his butt off and try and actually do. In my first year of jumping, and I think this is kind of unusual, but I got on every single load every single load that I could. And I racked up, I was looking at my logbook the other day, I racked up like 1,100 jumps in a year. That's insane for a first.
You had access to a plane.
Yeah, and I was there every day, and I got on every single load. So
yeah.
I peaked early. It's all downhill from there.
So at what number did you get? What was your first rating? Did you get your coach rating, or did you blaze through that?
Yeah, got the coach rating, and very quickly after that got the AFF rating. And then...
Oh, you did AFF, then Tandem.
I did AFF first.
I think I did Tandem.
Because there was no year requirement in the sport for AFF, so...
Yeah, I sucked, is why I didn't do AFF. I sucked when I got my AFF.
I did a pre-course. I went out to Lake Elsinore with... what was the guy's name? He's passed away now. He did a pre-course out there for years. Oh, God.
You've got to get it. Yeah, you'll get it.
I'm remembering names.
Respect.
But he was a great, he emphasized I need to see clear signals. That's what he emphasized. And if you think about it, like if you're not getting a clear signal about a foot out in front of your face, you're not in the right position. You're not flying well.
Right.
So I need to see clear signals. He would say it over and over again. I'm seeing signals over here. I'm seeing signals over here.
Right.
That's not what I need. I need to see a signal right out in front of me.
That
means you're in the right position.
That is fucking the foundation of teaching somebody. You need to be in their face.
Yeah.
Man,
and not like in their face, but
dude. So I'm doing overnight courses at iFly right now, teaching new instructors. And I'm doing a drill with a guy, and he's putting his hand over here, and he's trying to give me signals over here. So every time he does it, I roll, which means I'm going toward the glass where he has to catch me, and I'm trying to teach him, put the hand in your face.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't get it. It's hard for people to get what other people are seeing and doing. They're worried about themselves so much, right, that they're not worried about the person they're teaching and what they're seeing. So you get these, we call it, in the tunnel when we're teaching, we call it, you're gangbanging. You're fucking gangbanging on them. What are you doing? They can't see that shit. You know, I was taught it's a computer screen here, and I teach that from, I've always taught that.
That's right, and just assume that your student is deer in headlights anyway, and they're not going to be as aware. They're not going to be looking around at you and everything else. They're going to be looking straight out here, so that's where the signal needs to be.
Yeah. So. Assume that they just jumped out of an airplane for the first time in their life.
Assume that. Yeah.
And go
What's
there
that going to be like?
Hand signal. Do you think you writing your high school name
doing
in front of their face is going to help anything?
No.
Hey, this is the most common signal.
Yeah.
Is straighten your legs, relax. And whether it's right or not, they're giving that signal.
Yes. Right.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah, it's hard, man. I was asking an instructor the other day, I was like, on an AFF jump, who do you think's more scared? The instructor or the student? They're like, the student. I was like, you're out of your mind. I was like, that instructor's terrified.
Well,
but you, as an instructor, need to act like you've got this shit. As a new instructor. Man.
Yeah.
So you said 2,000 AFF?
Yeah. For a little while there, we were doing huge classes. Well, I mean, not compared to big drop zones, but
for 182 drop zones.
For our place, we were doing classes of 10 to 15 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would do typically a few tandem jumps in the morning, and then all afternoon I'm just jumping with AFF
students all day.
And they racked up. So I looked at my jumps at the end of 1 year, and I had an equal number of AFFs as tandem jumps. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of AFFs.
Well, that's a 182 drop zone. You get that experience. You know what I mean? There's not like 12 guys in rotation.
Right.
It's you and somebody else. And what happens is the class gets out.
Yeah.
Right? In the afternoon, the winds come down, and all right, let's get them up. It's time to go.
I kind of miss those days. That was, we just hammered them out. And I mean, today, I think probably the learning experience is better. They're getting a more detailed, valuable instruction. And it's more one-on-one. But back in the day, we just military style, like arch, reach, touch. We had them in there, like 15 of them all doing it. And
I've done it.
And they probably didn't get as good one-on-one instruction as they do now. So I would say the way they're doing it now is better, more one-on-one. But man, we hammered out some first. And I mean, they weren't required to do tandems or anything. They just
come in, you hold them and go. That was the factory.
Yeah,
that was that's the old model.
Yeah,
that old model buys King Airs though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It was
the new model builds drop zones.
Yeah, and it builds
community
and jump. Yeah, the people that come out and go through that process are committed now. They're not just one-timers that are there to.
They're building a drop zone.
F around with their buddies.
Yeah. It's a place because they learn. So I teach my new instructors in the tunnel, man. If you just give them a taste of down first, teach them how to fly down, so they're not scared of going too high. This is the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you show them left, right, and you show them forward, back, and show them that they can fly away from the glass and come down if they're scared. They're like, oh, I can do this shit. And then from that point on, it's over. They want
Yeah.
it worse than anything. Same thing with skydiving. If you just give them a second and then they do well,
Yeah.
or even they crashed in, right? They had line twists because the pool was bad, but damn it, their practice touches were good and they were stable. They'll come back.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just things you got to fix, man.
Well, that's why, and you've had this experience, and I've heard you teach too. Encouragement is so much more important than punishment, I think, as an
Yeah.
instructor. Like, it inherently, people are negative, and they think they're incapable of doing things, and they're hard on themselves. And I've been around to many drop zones across the country, and I'm sure you have too. And you see instructors, maybe they're not aware they're doing it, but they're discouraging their student by by bringing them down, by telling them. And my teaching philosophy has always been encouragement. I mean, they don't need. They need maybe a second or two, like, hey, maybe we can do this better next time. But what they need is psychological.
Oh, dude.
They
We're
need
psychiatrists like a motherfucker.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We're
we
helping
don't teach
them.
skydiving.
No, we don't teach skydiving. We teach people how to overcome their own belief in what they're capable of,
Based on their past experience for however old they are. Do you know what we're overcoming? It's a lot, dude. I used to make a bad joke. I used to make a bad joke in my class. I was like, "Your uncle's not here. Relax." Like, right? That's really bad. But like, it's like
whoever put you down,
whoever did
your
that
teacher,
to you,
your mother, whoever,
they're not here right
not
now.
here.
You need to stop telling me why you cannot do what
exactly.
So, as a good instructor, I believe you can see for someone what they can't see for themselves.
Exactly.
And then you make them reach for it.
Yeah.
And
I've seen you teach. I know I know you and I are on the same page about this, because you don't let them dwell on what they did wrong. You bring their attention back to what they did well, and inevitably the reaction is surprise. Oh, you're right. I did do that pretty well, didn't I?
I fucking kicked ass today. Yeah, we'll fix that other shit later.
Yeah, we'll
we
take
got
care
jumps,
of that.
man. We got years of jumps.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
Hey, man, you'll quit, dude. People will quit. People will quit.
Yes. I've seen
You'll
many people not come back. Yeah.
And I take it personally because it's like, did I steal that from them because something else in my life has made me frustrated, and we land, I'm like, dude, what was that?
Oh, right.
And they don't show up again. Did I just steal the greatest joy of heaven from them?
Yeah, well,
with my attitude?
Nobody can be a perfect instructor all the time. And yeah, you have moments where, you think back on it and it's like, I was a little hard on that guy just then, and I could have been, but
I was told
contrast that.
Dude, I was told today that I'm really harsh on people and they don't really like my style sometimes.
No.
And my answer is because we don't work well together. We just don't work well together. And that's fine. That doesn't make you any better or worse than me. Somebody else. I do a lot of military stuff. I understand that it's kind of jaded me to good students. And and I have expectations that are always met by these guys. Always met by these guys. Even if it's too much, these guys will reach further for me to get them better. And then I deal with civilians that are all soft and fucking and I'm like, dude, don't fucking do that again. Well, I was trying to, and the wind was this, and I saw somebody over there, and I'm like, I can't take your whining shit, so like, I need to be nicer. And that wasn't a nice conversation right there. I just did. I'm working on it, guys. I'm thinking about it. I want to be nicer to you. But if we don't work well together, I don't want to coach you, and you don't want me as your coach. Dusty Shaw is an amazing coach. He's very nice. Hold on, Drew Steele. There's other coaches. Yeah. Austin. Motherfucking Catchings is a beast if you guys come to Austin.
Man.
Right?
That guy.
Hey, I'm learning how to skydive. I need to get this shit done. I don't have time for this shit. If you have the luxury of time and you want to go fly around, I'm probably not your coach.
Yeah, I think
I'll probably cut that shit out of the show. I'm not going to.
There's a line to be made between coddling, right, and coaching.
I can't do it.
Right? So as a coach, I'm not there to coddle you and make you feel good about everything, but I am there to point out things that you didn't notice on your own. Like I can see things that you can't.
Right.
About
of course.
About your own capabilities.
How do you do that? What is your method?
Well, you know, inevitably people are, this is, you know this, people are hard on themselves. I heard one of your guys the other day saying, I'm a perfectionist and anything less than perfection is not good enough. Well, that perfectionism is not serving you, right?
At all. Well, did I correct him on that?
I didn't hear you correct him. I thought about saying something myself, but it's your student, and that's another thing. I respect the instructor bubble. You have a relationship with that student, so I'm not going to intrude and horn in on.
No, wrong. Because unless I have a checklist on me, I don't hit everything, and even with my checklist, I don't know what you know. I invite good information. Hey, if it's bad, I'll be like, fuck what he just said. You think I'm gonna hold back and try to? Hey, dude, if you have something to bring, please bring it. And if it's bad, I just won't.
But to you privately, right? It's very important, I think.
Yes. On a level where you don't know me, maybe, but you coming to me, hey, Waz, hey, can I tell? Hey, here we do this, or man, I think that, and I'm like, that's good, dude. Please come in.
Well, I know. But
it's hard. Listen, it's hard. It's hard to remember everything, and there's a lot of information a lot of people have.
Of course.
Please offer jewels.
But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that your student, in the moment of being instructed, needs to have utter respect for you, the instructor. And if there are other instructors swooping in and saying, "Hey, man, that's no."
Right.
That instructor-student relationship gets compromised, and suddenly they
start. Not with me though.
Well, not
I
with
don't
you.
give a fuck. I'll be like, dude, fuck that guy.
It's utterly not an ego thing.
I'm different. I'm like, okay, that's good, but hey, I want the input.
No,
I invite the input
at the appropriate time. But I'm saying there needs to be a healthy respect for. I've worked at drop zones where other instructors have, they've had different teaching styles and different philosophies, and they undercut you in front of the student, and that makes it hard for me to do my job, right? It makes it hard for me because suddenly the student's attention is divided between, oh, well, do I need to listen to this guy or this guy?
Yes. You're right.
They have to have a respect for the person that you've already built their relationship with them, right? And
on the other end of that,
yes.
May I offer that?
You challenge me.
If you're strong enough in your knowledge, nobody can fucking butt in and say anything to me, dude. Like, you can offer something, but my students know I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not like I'm not insecure in anything. Yo, I'm down. Please bring it. Like, nobody's going to step in and be like, well, my philosophy. I'd be like, oh, that's a good philosophy, guys. What works in the tunnel? Because my students fly with me in the tunnel before we hit the sky. Mm-hmm. So there's not much anybody can say. I'll be like, I'll even say to my students, what do you think about what he just said? Well, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, yeah, it don't fucking sound right. Okay. I understand.
There needs to be an instruction bubble.
Well, there needs to be an instructor respect bubble. And in another context, back in the day, I have seen my AFF eyes get stepped on by European instructors in Florida.
I bet.
Like, we'd be getting a debrief on the pad, and then some dude comes up and like, oh, I've been listening to you, and I think you should teach them this.
Yeah.
And they come in and teach it, and we don't understand the shit he's talking about. Some guy with his underwear showing, no shirt on, and his junk. I mean, it's bad, right? Like, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Maybe
there needs to be a healthy respect amongst instructors, right?
Yes,
like
it needs to be professional.
And not everybody agrees top to bottom on every single little thing. So if we're quibbling over little minutia all the time, it's not good for the student. Like, we're not doing them a service.
And you're right. It's not. It's right. So
there's plenty of stuff to disagree about.
No. A good instructor team will be like, hey, man, next time you should tell them this and that.
Yeah.
And then that instructor will be like, oh, man, that's a good point. Will you come teach that to the class? And then you both walk up and you're like, oh, this is fucking James. He's going to show you another way to, like, fly your pattern. And then, dude,
This is what
the ego will keep you from inviting knowledge in to other people. I'm not the gatekeeper for this shit.
Right.
I just know some things.
That's exactly right. And
you know what I mean?
And this is what I like to tell people is that I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you everything that I know to be true, and you're gonna learn some stuff from me, and you're gonna learn some stuff from that other instructor, and he's fantastic. Definitely learn stuff from him, and learn stuff from the packer, and like there's gonna be information flying at you from everywhere, and you should definitely absorb it all. Don't just take one person's say so.
Ever.
That's, and in that sense, I'm extending the respect to my colleagues in their eyes, right?
Right.
I'm saying I'm high-fiving my colleagues. I'm saying, he and I may not agree about this, but definitely listen to what he has to say, right?
Every time.
Yeah.
Man.
That's just respect. That's professional, courteous respect for your colleagues.
And what happens is, though, in that situation, people believe that they can only learn from these 2 or 3 people on the planet of Earth, and there's 5 drop zones within a couple miles of there.
Well, there's hero worship.
Yeah, so you shouldn't. This loyalty is ridiculous. You guys should be skydiving at every drop zone you could find. Like, go meet cool people. Like,
yes.
What do we do? What am I looking at? All right, that's a cool shot. What up, dude? Yo, like, how would you have a cup of coffee with a donkey if you didn't show up at Lexington and stay the night in one of the cabins, son? How would you know what a King Air felt like? You know, getting out at 14 grand in 7 minutes if you don't go to Lone Star. And then, like, having a bonfire with your fucking friends and a big-ass cookout with people you don't know and free beer, and why the fuck is this going on and everybody's so cool? How would you know if you don't show up and check it out? How would you know if you didn't go to Mustang Island and jump over the water in Port Aransas to see dolphins and shit? You know, come on, man.
There's no one correct way to do it.
No,
do it all.
And it's weird because when I would go work other places, I'd be like, God, do I got this? You know, do I really have this? And as soon as you let go of this weird plane with this weird system and this weird staff, as soon as you let go and you're free fall alone, you're like, bitch, I got this. I got this. This is where I live. This is what I am. You know what I mean? And if you don't travel, you never get to experience the experience of Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Belize, North America, South America, Kentucky, fucking Florida. You know what I mean? Oklahoma Skydive Center, baby. Skytook, baby, out in Tulsa. Come on, man. You got to battle some winds. You got to live your life a little bit if you want to be a good skydiver. If you jump at the same drop zone and you got more than so many jumps, man, you're missing out. Always come home. I mean, come on, man. You're not keeping the lights on. The tandems are. You can go somewhere else and come back.
Well, there's a comfort thing too, and if you're not pushing your comfort a little bit, then you're not. You know, you get into a rut just the same as you do with anything else. And I tell my students, you're not a parachutist till you land it off. Until you had to make a fucking decision. If I'm going to get them power lines, is that 1 bull or 5 cows? I'm landing by the cows. Until you've had to make that decision, you have not really flown a parachute. If you landed on a mowed field every time in a perfect pattern, oh, you fucking badass, you. Yeah. It doesn't matter, land
man.
On target. Yeah. No, I mean, this is one of the things that was emphasized to me is that we learn by making mistakes. And to expect a young jumper to be perfect all the time and always fly a perfect pattern, he's not learning anything. You have to learn by
making
fucking
mistakes.
Up a little bit.
Exactly.
And understanding,
dude.
And then it's and the instructor's job is not to say, "Hey, you fucked up." It's to use that fuck up as a learning opportunity, as a teaching opportunity.
Yes.
It's like, yes, I get to do my job now. Like, you should be excited when people fuck up.
Without that, you have nothing.
Exactly. You're useless.
Nothing. I was, shout out to Ray Meyer from Lone Star. He came and helped me move my bees to a new spot today. The bees got a new home, right? They're all swarming. I got bees. Oh, man. Shout out to Simon Bones for convincing me to be a beekeeper on this show, son. So, I was telling Ray today, he's like, you know, I want to do this or I want to do that. I was like, man, you got to show me video of you fucking up and then I can teach it. And I was like, that's how I was taught. I would ask my old boss, like, how do I do this or how do I do that? He goes, go do it, show me the video, and I'll tell you what you're doing. You know, you need to go fuck it up. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't want to fuck it up. He's like, you have to fuck it up
Yeah.
for me to fix it.
You know,
because I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yes.
Other than straighten your legs.
I've seen.
You know what I mean?
I've seen so many instructors get pissed off when their students aren't perfect. You know, like, God damn it, I told him this like 20 times. Why didn't he do it? I'm like, man, now you get to do your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if they just went up and, I mean, you mentioned Austin Catchings. All right. I was that guy's AFF instructor. Shout out to Sherpa.
You did Austin's AFF?
I did Austin's AFF.
Sherpa.
And that motherfucker was perfect. I was useless on all his AFF. I was useless on his AFF 1. I mean, I let go of the guy and watched that guy fly. And I don't even think we did 7 jumps. I think we did like 4, and I was like, all right, you don't need me, you don't need it.
James, let me tell you.
He was just so naturally talented.
We're still standing around watching that guy fly.
I know.
He's
the guy is like
badass. He's a wind ninja, son. He knows it.
How many people are just they find exactly what they're supposed to do in life? That guy is one.
And what a story, man. He wanted to work in Austin.
Yeah.
We were full, which is still the case. Don't even apply. Only position available was in Atlanta, which is this mega tunnel that's super busy. He put in 4 fucking years in Atlanta to wait for his transfer to Austin, or 2 years to Atlanta, and he came back. And now he's back at his dream fucking tunnel, and it's fucking, man, he's an integral part of the team.
Integral's a word.
Shout out to Bullet Whiskey.
Yeah.
Please be a sponsor in the future. Like, I'll contact you guys. I got nothing but good shit to say, right? Cheers. Man, such a pleasure having you on the show. Yeah. So a couple more questions before we get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
You did AFF first, then Tandem.
Yeah, not for very long. I mean, AFF was just accessible to me because there's the 3-year requirement in the sport.
What did I do first? Did I do AFF or Tandem first? I can't remember, man. I probably did AFF first too, and then I got my Tandem in Chicago.
Yeah.
How was your Tandem course? Where did you do that?
Actually,
here comes the good story.
we brought the course to us.
Here we go.
Yeah,
yes.
It was fantastic. You just get to jump at your own drop zone. Let's see. I think I'm trying to remember. I did AFF with Glenn Bangs, which was a trip.
Mm-hmm. You did AFF at your home drop zone too?
Yes.
So you did. What other drop zones have you ever been to?
Oh, I've been all over Texas.
Okay, good. Good. Okay.
Arizona, California.
Yeah. I saw Oregon. Some Eloy shit. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I believe it was Todd Spillers.
Todd Spillers, AFF or your Tandem?
That did the Tandem. He became a Tandem examiner, and then I think I was probably one of his earliest.
So my old boss, shout out to Jack Reeves, my mad pirate Jack. His philosophy was fuck that, 100%. You don't know what skydiving is until you've been to 100 drop zones. He would say, you got to go 100 drop zones, man. Yeah. What are you doing? 100 drop zones. So he said he refused to have courses. I can't say that. Hey, he refused to have courses at RDZ, and he would send us away. To Florida, Chicago, Cali, right, to get our ratings. So I went to a different drop zone each time until I found Skydive Ratings with Brom and Ellie, and I was like, I don't know if you guys are still running it. Man, I love you guys. I love you, Ellie. I just went back to them for my ratings, like everything. I loved it. And then I went to Chicago for my Tandem just because it was cool. Man.
There is a comfort thing that young jumpers should be... I think they should be encouraged to go other places because, you get out of the same plane when the pilot tells you to, and you're looking at the same scenery every time. Like you're cutting a groove into your brain, that if anything happens outside of that groove, you're going to be terrified and panic and do the wrong thing.
Pathways. You're building pathways.
You've got to build multiple pathways.
You have to get different sight pictures and make real decisions.
Yeah.
That's why the landing off thing is so big.
Yeah.
Right on. Man, All right. So before
Before we run out of time.
we don't have time. This is public
All right.
fucking access television. Wazzy's World party time.
Thanks, Bullet. Bullet, you're responsible for that.
Who was it? Somebody told me that Wayne's World was public access. He's like, you're just
Oh,
like
yeah.
Wayne's World, Waz. I'm like, I am. like
Wazzy's
Wayne's
World.
So if you're living in Austin, you can watch this shit. You can watch WazzyCircus Radio
Change-
on television
change the
all
title.
night long. It is fuck Wazzy's World.
Wazzy's World.
It's not Wazzy's World. My children wouldn't hurt if it was Wazzy's World.
Oh.
All right. That's some tunnel instructor bullshit.
Oh.
All right. Hey. Okay. Real quick.
Yeah.
I have this FITP going on, and a lot of skydivers. You guys don't know the greatest skydive video in history. It's called Fat Cat Logger, and we're gonna pay homage to this shit. It's super old, but if the volume doesn't work, you guys look it up. It's Fat Cat Logger on YouTube. We're gonna watch it right now, and I'll cut it out of the show if it doesn't fucking work.
I haven't
If it
seen
doesn't
this.
hit. It's the
First
best.
time.
Birthday Pete, skydive jump.
Happy birthday, Pete. Birthday Pete, skydive jump. Fat cat, you and me, I got you one. Drink it. His name's Josh. He's a skydive instructor, and he's also a Zen master in yoga. Pete, what's the holdup, man? He lived in Tibet. He's like wind chimes. He actually counsels pregnant women. Well, none of that means anything. Pete, you gotta just get in the car, trust me. You know why? I have presents for you in the car. What do you have? In the car, I'll tell you. No, I want to know now. I got a 12-pack of Fat Cat. We're living on the edge. Look at me. Not signaling. You skydiving. I know, yeah. You guys on their birthday. Nobody. People are born on their birthday. How many times has he done it? Dude, I don't know. 1,000? Like a number, you know. I'll tell you, number one.
People were born on their birthday.
You gotta lube
Like
up. You want to fly
1,000.
through the air with lubricant speed. It's some speed. We're going to the...
Oh my God.
That's snug.
It's snug.
How long have you been doing this? Couple of weeks. I don't understand.
Woo!
I think I recognize that suit.
Unless we hit the fence, but it should be pretty good. No, I promise I won't. I did it one time. I'm not... Get in there, man. How many
Get
times have you
woo!
done it? What number would make you feel safe? Well, the truth.
What number would make you feel
If
the
it's 25
truth?
something up? Yeah. Get in the game. I don't know. I don't think that's the same guy I was thinking
I don't think that's the same guy.
Okay. If I'm negligent, you can't sue me. If you're negligent, you can. Doing a videotape, that's a good initial there.
That's stupid.
1,500 feet, take seatbelts off, 9,000 feet, we'll carry you at dust, 12,000 feet, door opens up, 13,000 feet, we fall. This is all the admin, blah, 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 blah.
You saw me, yeah.
You're doing weird things with your feet, that's awkward. But how do I... Are you a dancer?
What are you with, Dan?
What do I? How do I?
I've never worn one, I don't know what feels right. Don't you know how to put these on? Yeah, just check it, man, safety first.
Safety first.
That feel backwards?
Does that feel backwards?
He's jumpy. Where you land, man? Fat cats! Come on, Pete, focus. What are you doing? Getting a little loose!
It's getting loose. Go to the plane.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. You look great.
What? What is happening?
It's a commercial for Fat Cat. Look, he goes low, son.
Ooh. The cameraman. That's enough.
Coming down like a gazelle in the sky.
Like a gazelle in the sky.
Who is this guy? That's not Pete. Where's the man? Oh my God! No!
Oh my.
Did he catch
He catch fire.
Oh, shit. Dude.
Fat cat loader.
Nice.
I don't know who
That's-
the fuck you guys are, but that shit was hilarious. I make sure all
Forget
you
our
guys see that shit.
forget our tandem training. That's what we need to do.
That is fucking beautiful. That was the funnest skydive video in the whole wide world. And that's a Mac. That's a new Mac. So, how many jumps did you have when you started tandem?
You know what? It must be. I don't know. Is the answer to that? But it must be 1,500 or.
Oh fuck! Really?
Yeah. Like.
What were you doing? Just fun jumping?
Yeah.
Oh, you got your AFF first, so you're doing AFFs.
Yeah. Well, I was doing AFFs, and like I said, I got on every single load I could when I was. I was just. I've racked up a huge amount of jumps.
So like.
Peaked early.
My boss taught us how to get the money, and it was like, not everybody gets a video, right? Because I was shooting video. He's like, not everybody gets a video, but guess what they get? They're all here for tandem. He's like, you want to make money? Because I was complaining about like how Andy got on every load, or Jack Miller had every load, and I was like, I can't get on the plane. He's like, man, you want to get on the plane, get your fucking rating. I was like, I'm getting my fucking rating. So I got it as soon as I can. At 500 jumps, I started trying to get everything.
Yeah. Where was this? Where did you start?
Oklahoma Skydive Center, Cushing, Oklahoma, baby. Come on. Over the oil tanks with the ghetto birds and the banditos.
Sounds
man,
beautiful.
What a good time.
Sounds like.
What a good time, man. Yeah. Man, it's awesome.
Picturesque.
I got allergies. All right. So, what best, worst, scariest tandems? Would you like me to go first so you can have a second to think?
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so one of my best tandems. There's a time in Skydive Dallas. I know I beat this to death. It was the best time of my life. We're raging loads. We're raging 20 loads Saturday and Sunday. We're raging, right? And the load is on the plane. We're telling jokes. We're trying to steal each other's helmets. We're messing with the tandems. We're telling bad jokes. We're seatbelting each other to the plane, right? Like if you don't asshole check yourself before you're getting out, dude, I'm gonna scoot right by you.
That's
like
not,
with Otter.
That's
like,
not
like,
polite behavior. Right
oh,
there.
it's wonderful. It makes your friends and you ninjas. Like nothing's gonna get you because you're fucking, dude. I've got friends that'll take the key out the 182.
Oh,
on exit.
come on.
On exit, dude. They'll look over, take the key, and jump, son. I'm from the old school, right? So we're playing those jackass games. Then cameraman comes in. We try to steal the shoe because they're always trying to fly, back fly. So we fly in, steal the shoe. I'll hold them, and my students will shoot rubber bands in their faces while we're fucking in free fall, right? And then the other tandem master, we got in a lot of trouble by a lot of people for this, but we bump incels on tandems to do death spirals. We call them death spirals and bump in. We got in trouble and we stopped. Ernie, respect, right? And then we land in formation, which we also got in trouble for. But I was fucking loving it. I was loving it.
Someone flies near me, I fly away. I don't
really. Oh,
I don't play that game.
We were fucking raging. What was the original point of the story about the best time of my life in Dallas? I forget what the fucking point of it was.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
scary.
So that was the best. The best jump was, of course. Not of course. I don't know if you guys know. Okay, listen. Okay. My friends, my family. Why did you skydive your first time? What was it? This is the point of the story. What motivated you to? Oh, Cindy made you an offer. It's different. I think it's a little different.
The first time though, I was offered the jump for free. Can't say no to that. And yeah, I was one of those that said, no way, no how, never. You can ask me until the end of time. I will still say no. I was one of those. And I was dragged to the airplane. I mean, I had a harness forced on me.
So our story's a little different, but put yourself in somebody else's, one of your tandem shoes. Why do they come jump? Why does a tandem show up? Give me 3 reasons why tandems show up.
Well, I think, honestly, I think people don't come to jump just because they're trying to do something amusing, like going to Six Flags or whatever. They come to jump because they're trying to make they're trying to shake up their routine or their life in a major way. I really think that like nobody just casually decides to skydive. They have got to want to do something that's gonna, I mean, oftentimes it's a birthday party or whatever, but I really think psychologically to make the decision to skydive, it's extraordinary, really, if you think about it.
It is extraordinary.
It's a decision to do something that's so it necessarily is so far outside anyone's comfort zone that it's amazing that anyone does it
Ever.
and yet we have 20, 30, 40, 50 people a week coming into our place making that decision to intentionally burst their comfort bubble,
Mm-hmm.
And I was I was quite happy having never made a skydive and had no intention to skydive, and like so many people, and you've experienced this, part of the joy as an instructor is seeing people get past their own boundaries that they've erected around, like there's no way I can do this, I can never do this, and then suddenly they find themselves doing it.
And they're good at it.
And the joy that they experience from that, there's no way that's not infectious, to everyone at the drop zone. That's why there's so much. That's why when a tandem lands, everyone on the drop zone, even if they've got 500 jumps, 1,000 jumps, 5,000 jumps, is like, how was it?
Mm-hmm.
They want to know from that person what they already know, essentially, is that it was so far beyond, it not only was the experience amazing, but their own capability to be involved in that experience is amazing. And that's what I find so amazing about the whole thing, is that you get all that infectious, when you're an instructor, you're right there with that person. When you open the parachute, you feel exactly what's going on with their body,
Mm-hmm.
right? You feel
Very intimate.
their excitement,
Very
you
intimate.
feel their joy, you feel their
Your chest is back. You're bonded.
you feel everything that's going on with them. You feel their heartbeat.
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
They're breathing.
and they're breathing, and their
Exhilaration.
the first thing that they and sometimes it's hilarious, with the
A
first
lot
thing,
of it's hilarious.
but like you're laughing at them, but you're also like, wow, that person is
Living right now.
they're not obeying any social conventions or personality. They're just totally in the moment and experiencing a total experience with their bodies and with their spirit, and you get to experience that because you're right there with them. That's to me, that's extraordinary.
It's
So
beautiful. Tandem's beautiful, man.
yeah, over the years I've explained until I'm blue in the face to people that when you decide to go a different direction in skydiving, like I can remember specifically doing 15, 20 jumps in a row with a bunch of my friends, and all we did is flop around the sky like a bunch of idiots, and we didn't really do anything. And I love those people, but I was like, you know what, this is not for me. I'm not getting out of this what I know is that I'm capable of getting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went into instruction, I started getting that.
You're singing my song.
I started getting that feeling.
You're singing my song.
And it's hard to explain to your friends. They're like, "Oh, you're just a drogue tosser now. You don't care anymore." Well,
no,
that's not it at all. I'm getting something out of this that you have no experience of. It's not within your realm of understanding. What I can give to another person, right, in that moment, is so much greater than what you can get by flopping around with your buddies in the sky. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying for me, I need something more.
There's two different breeds of us, man. There's the fun jumper and there's the worker bee.
Well,
and it's like they
the
don't
disdain,
understand.
though, the disdain for the working jumper is such that they don't understand.
Oh, I hear it all the time. I got an argument with Skydive Radio when I was first in skydiving, listening to podcasts, and I heard some arrogance on there from the 4-way team. Like, I'd never throw drogues. Those guys was like, yo, fuck you guys, man.
You don't know.
It's the greatest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Exactly.
Ever.
You don't know.
And you're shitting on it, and everybody shits on it.
They do.
Well, fuck you. You know what I mean? Throwing drogues. It's not throwing drogues. It's taking people on their first skydive experience.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The drogue thing is a jaded look at something wonderful.
Yeah.
So the best jump. So to tie it all back, the
Yep.
best jump was a cancer survivor.
Oh, I've had one of those. Yeah.
I've had probably 100 of those.
Yeah.
And this one lady, man, I don't know, man. I'm getting all choked up. It is the
I get it.
greatest. So the hardest. Let's just get to the hardest. I don't know. I took an NFL player once. Man, I'm getting choked up. This shit's real. Hey, I can't wait anymore. The point of the show is James lost his fucking tandem rating a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Why?
it's been about 14 months.
Were you fucking, was it a DUI, which happens? And if you get a DUI, do you deserve to lose your fucking income? No. No. Not if you dedicated your life to this shit and then they can take it. The USPA is a club that's awesome and it fights for drop zones. You got to understand, you might not like it as a fun jumper, but me as a DZO, I might need them to go to court for me to get fucking permission to skydive. So fuck your fun jumpers. I don't care. I need you guys to pay your shit so I can have a drop zone for you to jump. The USPA is bigger than what you think.
I've seen it happen in Oregon.
Yeah, and the USPA is governed by the FAA, which is the law. It's a fucking sword. It's a gun. It's law. There's no way around the FAA. And if they say no, there's no way around it. Yes, USPA says no. You can find some hole bunking place in the middle of nowhere and still make your fucking money. FAA takes your shit, you're fucked. Right? It's not very clear of what could take your shit. It's kind of... It's terrifying to me because I can make an easy mistake and lose my ratings, I think. Not my USPA ratings, but my pilot ratings. I know drunk driving and that and like other things. But what happened, James? And I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Well, so where to begin? Well, I don't know how familiar your viewers are with the medical FAA licensing process, but basically what you do is you submit a form to the FAA called the MedExpress form, and I've filled out dozens of these things over the years.
I have too.
For some reason, this time,
This time is what year?
This is early 2020. So
early 2020, and you first got your rating what year?
Oh, I got my rating in 2000, March of 2000.
So 20 years later.
Yeah,
20 years of doing this actively.
20 years I've been jumping.
6,000.
Yeah, and I've never had a medical issue on a like I've delivered thousands of people safely to the ground and never had a personal medical issue. However, on this form, it asks, have you ever been hospitalized for any reason? And for some reason, as a total lapse of judgment, I entered a
moment of honesty.
A moment of honesty. I entered a childhood illness.
Childhood meaning what age was the last time you had
Meaning
symptoms?
The last time I had symptoms was 40 years ago.
At what age?
At age 6.
6.
Yeah.
At 6, what happened?
I had childhood epilepsy. I had a couple of mild seizures, which were not like dramatic, fall on the ground shaking seizures, but just kind of spacing out for a little bit. I went to the doctor a couple times. I went to the children's hospital a couple of times. I remember being hooked up to the electrodes.
Uh-huh.
You know, they put electrodes on you and monitor your.
40 years ago they did.
40 years
they
ago.
got something better now.
And no symptoms since childhood. And I was declared. You know, I remember having to wear the little Medicaid bracelet, and at some point that came off, and it was like, that's no problem. And it's very common for children because they're still. I mean, your wiring is still forming,
Right.
You know, up there.
Yeah.
So it's neurologically, you're not really mature until you're, 10, 11, 12 years old. So anyway, for some crazy reason, I disclosed this on a form to the FAA. Now, anyone that's dealt at all with the FAA will tell you that's nuts. You're an idiot for disclosing anything. You never tell them anything.
It shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that way.
Guys.
Okay, so I did, and I went to so you enter this form, and then you go to your medical
dude, you look
examiner.
at the colored things.
He pulls up my form, and he goes, and he's looking through everything, and he goes, oh, that's good. Okay, good. Oh, and he looks at me, and I know something seriously, and he's like,
have you ever answered this question that way before?
no, well, that's, I mean.
Or was it new on the list? Was it brand new? Have you never seen it before? Have you seen it before?
I don't know if they worded it differently or something was just asleep in my brain that day. I don't know.
Right.
But for some reason, this I disclosed, and I don't know why. Don't ask me why. So he says, this is a major flight. He right away, he's like, maybe this is not a big deal. Let me call the FAA. He calls the FAA, and he's like, he talks to the agent for a little while, and he hangs up, and he goes, all right, well, let's do the rest of the exam. I've seen this guy before. He's a great guy. Louis Davenport, I think his name, over at Austin Airport. He's a cool dude. He flies jet planes.
Bergstrom or executive?
Well, I don't know.
The smaller or the larger airport? No.
Well, it's part of Bergstrom, I think.
Okay, cool.
But he's got his
Mr.
own office
Davenport,
there.
right on.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, and I've seen him before, and Anyway, he's like, all right, well, everything's fine with the exam, but I'm going to submit my, my report, and we'll see. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe the FAA won't.
He has no choice.
Make a big deal about
policy, right?
They came back with a letter to me, a full-blown investigation, basically. So they wanted a MRI. They wanted a neurologist evaluation with his, they wanted a history of medication, a history which doesn't exist anymore. I mean, there's no. How am I supposed to remember what medication or treatment I got at 6 years old? All of those records are dust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't.
Years
that's the 70s. They don't exist anymore. They wanted a EEG, awake and asleep. They wanted a questionnaire, a whole list of things.
Do you know how much an MRI costs? Do you guys know what an MRI fucking costs?
Yes. Well,
one MRI is $1,500.
Yeah, no insurance covered any of this, so it was all out of pocket.
EKGs, I don't know what the fuck that costs.
So I did all. I mean, it was a long process to get all of this stuff done. As
an adult, 40 years later.
Yeah, and the expense and everything, but
for the Class A, man, they're like colorblind.
It's a class, or it's a class 3, I guess, which is the lowest.
Yeah.
Anyway, the process of communicating, I don't know. I've been on pilot forums and I've talked to people that have dealt with the FAA. I just want to make it clear, okay? Everyone that I've dealt with at the FAA has been kind and courteous and professional, and they've been as helpful as they can be. My problem is not with anyone that works at the FAA or even the mission of the FAA itself, which is to keep the skies safe. I'm totally on board with that.
You and I both.
what's what I have a beef with is the system that they're working with. And I mean, the communication with the FAA is archaic, to put it mildly. Like, we're dealing with sending letters, I mean, physical letters, and sending CDs and stuff like that. Like, this is what they request. So they requested the copy of my EEG on a CD. When I got the EEG, I told the tech that did the EEG that, hey, I need this on a disc. Is there any way you can do that for me, or who do I talk to? Do I talk to medical records? Or she looked at me like I was from another planet.
Well, you're fucking 20 years ago.
Like, what, a disc? I'm not even sure.
USB, man.
She said our machines don't even talk to discs. Like, they're not even.
Yeah, nobody's. Could you find a disk drive today? My computer doesn't have a disk drive. They wouldn't take a flash drive with the EEG in it?
So what I had to do was, she's like, talk to your doctor, talk to the neurologist, and see if you can get it from him. Well, I talked to the neurologist, and he said, no, we don't do that. Talk to medical records. Well, I talked to medical records, and they're like, oh, I don't know. We'll talk to our IT department. The IT department eventually was able to put something together for me on a disc to send to the FAA. And I mean, talk about nerve-wracking. Here's this thing that has your career on it.
Right.
Okay, like, this is my ability to make income. I'm going to put it in an envelope and send it. Hopefully it makes it.
Is there not an office here that you could drop it off?
And hopefully it arrives intact.
Yeah.
Right? And hopefully their machines can read it. So my last communication with them, I sent them this thing. I sent them everything they needed. And they hadn't heard anything, and I called them. And I mean, calling them is a trip back to 1992 too, because you can't get through to, you can't even get in a queue where you're 14th in line or whatever. You have to spam call them and get a busy signal, and then spam and spam and spam.
Still a busy fucking
Yeah,
signal?
well, it says no agents are available right now. Please call back later. And you spam call them, and then you get to where you get the, okay, you're in line for the next available agent. Your wait time is 14 minutes or whatever. All right, so you finally get talking to an agent, and he basically, or he or she tells you, well, they're reviewing your case, and you should be receiving a letter within the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
So we're dealing with we're in a supposed age of instantaneous communication. We're dealing with we might as well be using smoke signals.
Right.
It's like,
can I just wait for an email? Can you email me?
Like the hospital should be able to instantly beam that information to the FAA, right? Right?
Fucking FAA, we're trying to Star Trek you guys.
Yeah, and the FAA should be able to look at it instantaneously and say, okay, we'll add that to your file. Like, that's what we need. We'll add it to your file.
So, in the sport...
But we're waiting for 6 weeks for a letter, and guess what happened? I called them after 6 weeks of waiting, and I said, what's happened with the stuff I sent you? And they said, it was mislabeled. The label on the disc was, it didn't have the letters EEG on it, and it didn't have the date on it, so we can't add it to your file. So it's a doorstop, basically. It's useless. So I have to go back to the hospital and go through medical records again,
dude.
And go through the IT department, which I have to specify, make sure you label it correctly and all this. So this my problem is not with the people that are.
My problem's with the dude that said you didn't label it right.
Yeah.
My problem's with that
they've got
dude.
the information. They just
Man,
can't
that's
add it to my
rude.
file.
That's lazy.
All right.
That's some lazy shit.
So
I don't want to be a pilot, so y'all kiss my ass. That's some lazy
I've been
shit.
on pilot forums and read
I'm
about the
sorry. I wanna be
horror
a pilot.
stories.
I want to be a pilot worse than anything else.
Yeah. Well, as long as everything goes.
So that sucks.
So we've got this archaic form of communication where we're waiting 6 weeks for letters. It could all be instantaneous in a modern world, but we're not there yet.
Well, they don't have the funding, is what they'd say.
They don't have the funding. So basically, you need some kind of it's like dealing with the IRS. Like, you need an accountant or a tax lawyer. You need a representative to represent you to the FAA. So my ME offered to do that for me. He said right
Davenport.
Right at the beginning, he said, I've seen these cases drag on for a year or more, which it has. And if you want to pay me $1,000, I can be your representative and be your, representative to the FAA and get all the stuff correctly. It's like your tax return, like you get everything, you get
CPA,
you get your CPA to put it all together in a way that the IRS can't reject it.
They understand it.
And they submit it for you. And he said, or you can do it yourself. And I opted to do it myself. So here's where we're at. And in hindsight, I was like, man, I should have hired the guy as my representative, because I've been on the pilot forums and read horror stories about people trying to go through this bureaucratic process and just being, and like careers ruined. Like, who wants to hire a pilot or keep a pilot on staff that's grounded for 14 months,
So now you're packing parachutes, waiting for AFS. It's like they've taken the wind out of your sails, man. Listen, if you're a professional skydiver, you're a professional tandem instructor. I mean, that's where the money's at. And it's like,
that's where the money is at, but you also just heard me say that's where the passion is at.
Yes,
that's
love.
where the motivation and the like giving that experience to somebody else. So,
yeah, I saw you at the drop zone. I was like, why aren't you on the loads? What are you doing? You're like, yeah, man. I was like, what happened? And you're like, yeah, dude. I couldn't believe it, because I got there, so I came down to Austin, and I called all the local drop zones and said, yo, I'm working at the tunnel. I need to do tandems on the weekends, because I was a tandem instructor.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. That's how I ate, right? I was like, if I don't do tandems, I don't have gas.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Cindy, God bless your heart, Cindy. Ooh, please come on the show. That'd be fucking cool to have Cindy on the show. She built a paradise for herself called Texas Skydiving. Yeah. And she let me, throw drugs and stuff. And, like, I would come out there on the weekends and, there. And I work at San Marcos before it was Spaceland. And I'd alternate between the two. And it was fucking awesome. And that's when I met you. And we would do tandems together.
Yep.
Like, you sit next to me on the 182. We go up and jump out. And it was weird not seeing you jumping. It's just like seeing me grounded. It's just weird. For something that was so...
Well, this is the other thing.
Is there no epilepsy policy, period? No pilots with epilepsy?
Well,
maybe...
This is... If you're just a common sense person thinking about this, so there has to be... And I don't know what to do about this. I'm not, I'm not involved with the FAA, but if you just think about it from a common sense perspective, there has to be some provision where a prospective airman or pilot that hasn't experienced symptoms in 40 years, that doesn't raise a full investigation where you need the MRI and the whole works. Like that, like maybe a visit to the neurologist, right? Okay, and the neurologist goes through his little checklist and says, okay, you're good, and here's your piece of paper, and you send that to the FAA. It could have taken a week, right?
Right.
There's... For some reason, and I understand that the FAA needs something to put in a file in order to be legally sound, right? To put pilots that have years of experience with no medical issues and everything, to put them through this it doesn't satisfy any common sense. Like it's like there are any number of childhood illnesses that people might disclose if they were being foolishly honest, like I was.
Right.
And which would ground nearly everybody.
Well, without pilots, the FAA has no job, you guys. Without people trying to fly planes, you don't have a job. And you keep denying people, you don't have a job. You don't have a purpose. We're going to turn it over to that digital shit they're trying to pitch to you now, right? And they're going to monitor these. Dude, like, you got the FAA... can be a nightmare. There's a dark side to it. It's not just you, but there's
Again,
pilots
it's not
that
the
are
people.
weeping in their pillows at night.
Yes.
Because they're just, man, if you want to fly, listen, people are scared of heights. Everybody's scared of heights. Nobody wants to frickin' fly. It's a very weird part of the population. There's very few, and there's even fewer of those that will actually take the risks to do it. And there's even less of them that will join the Air Force or go get the experience. If you weed out the few passionate, man, what you got left? The rich kids that their parents can pay for the fucking doctor shit. You're really shooting yourself in the foot. And
Yes.
I know you guys are all retiring and you're all old and you don't care anymore because civilian aviation is dead. I've heard it from your mouths. I've been in meetings. I heard it from your mouths. It's over. It's gonna be just, that's lame. We're skydiving, man. My kids want to fly. You're shooting people in the foot because of something that happened when they were 7 years old. You don't get your pilot's license. I don't know. There's got to be a better system.
Here's the other thing that you alluded to earlier, too, which is that the system as it currently is rewards dishonesty.
Yeah,
right?
Everybody knows don't fucking tell the truth to the FAA.
Right. So
that's bullshit.
And I've been on the pilot forums and I've talked to many people in person, and everybody says the same thing. Oh, you were a dumbass for disclosing that.
And
right?
It's because of the
because
lawyers.
I was honest.
It's because of the lawyers, dude. It's not the FAA. It's the lawyers.
No,
the
yeah.
law says you said
it's
this.
the system.
Something happened. Blah blah blah.
That's my point.
So your test question triggered the system to come after you. Is
right.
Exactly what happened.
It's not anyone that works at the FAA.
Nope.
They're all
trigger.
Yeah. It's just the system as it currently exists punishes honesty and rewards dishonesty. There's people that don't disclose what medications they're on, that don't disclose what symptoms they're experiencing, and can have happy flying careers.
Right.
But the honest person that discloses those things is grounded.
So never ever be honest.
Yeah, that's what the system says.
I'm just kidding, man. Yeah, but they'll fix it. All systems get fixed. This is
Yeah.
America. We fix shit.
We fix it.
We fix shit. James,
I don't
we're
know
gonna get you your rating back, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jack Pilin. I'm gonna give you a call, Jack. I love you, Jack. We're gonna try to work on this, man. Cause that's what, hey, love it or hate it, the USPA does give a fuck, a huge fuck,
Yep.
and they may help. Have you reached out at all?
You know, that's something I think you mentioned to me, and I hadn't really considered it, but when I consider that's the mission of the USPA is to act as a liaison between us and the government. And
So when you're getting your parachutist and you have to pay for your ratings, it's a pain in the ass. But when you need help, bro.
When you need help.
You know, WazzyCircus, I hold their toes to the fire. Jack, man, I love you, man. I'm putting you on the spot. We're going to take this on. We're going to take this on together. I'm going to call Jack. We're going to work on it. And hopefully we'll have a glory show where we get your rating back.
Awesome, man.
Cool, man. Hey, Sky Love.
Yeah.
Man, we love this shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I see the insurance for my kids, but I'll be back as a TI when I get my shit together. Ha! All right. Yo, shout out to Andrew Revis. Does Andrew still run Friday Freak Out? Hit me up, Andrew. It looks corporate now. All right. We're watching the Friday Freak Out. Here we go. You've seen these, right?
I've seen them. I find them difficult to watch.
Oh, they're fucking terrible. Here we go. Yeah.
I may look away.
So I know. We break it down. All right. I know that plane. That's a Caravan. I've jumped. That's an Otter.
Where's
That's the old yellow Otter. That's the old Dallas Otter. I bet. Let me see.
That's Dallas.
Yo, that's Team Vibe. That's the yellow Otter. That's a Tandem. Is that us? Dude, this is. I know that suit. That's Skydive Dallas, baby. This is back when I went. Oh, don't go to your back. What happened? Dude, get off your back, son. That's not me. Hey, y'all would know. I'd have the drogue out by now.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, you fucked Tandem
I saw
side
multiple
spin.
opportunities to throw a drogue there.
Lord God. I was probably working there. Look at that. Look, guess what works? Guess what works?
Yeah.
So I want to tell y'all the truth on life.
Yeah.
Do you understand, motherfuckers? Listen, this
The
is
rules.
life. Who is that? Is that me? It's not me. That's not me. I knew that plane, dog. I knew the
Is
leather
that you?
back. No, that's not me.
Oh,
Fuck, I
okay.
never had a green helmet. But look, I worked there. I worked there at the same time that was happening. Because those suits, I used to put those suits on students. That Skydive Dallas. Oh, the centripetal. The centrifugal. Look, around
all
your
you can
foot. Listen, you should have done that. Okay. Okay.
This
is my opinion on this. Can we run it back?
Yeah.
There's a pissing contest in tandems when you're learning. Don't throw the drogue to get stable. Oh, you need to be able to outfly the student. Fuck that student. You never know what student you're going to get.
Nope.
Do you understand?
Every
get out,
a new tandem.
dump the drogue. Okay. On the hill, I love rolling on my back or doing something on the hill and chilling. Look, Dallas. Look at that otter. They painted it. It's one of the fucking Spaceland fleet now, but on the inside it's still yellow. Look, who is that? Who is that? I don't know that guy. He drives a funny helmet. Oh, boom, out. Drogue, reach. What are you doing?
Right there.
That was the wrong fucking hand.
Yeah.
Run it back. Run it back, please. Watch this bullshit, dude.
All right.
James, watch with me. Watch with me.
I believe you.
Who the fuck is this guy? Ernie Long. What the fuck? Look at him. Which hand dumps your drogue, right or left? He reaches with the left. You fuck. I will talk shit to you, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Who gave you your rating? Oh, you don't want to be. This is why I don't have students. You guys, this is why I can't coach you. Because you deserve that. The student doesn't deserve that, but you're an idiot. Oh, now you found it? You found it on your back spinning at 100 miles an hour? You found the fucking drogue? You couldn't find out the plane? Oh, this is why I don't deserve a show. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you're going to do your handle touches? No thumbs up, you fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean,
that is fucking unacceptable.
I'm
upset with this video. You got a tandem side spin because you went to your... What were you reaching for? What have you ever been taught is on the left-hand side of your fucking rig other than, look, it goes drogue, cutaway, no, it goes drogue, primary, secondary, cutaway, reserve, right?
Yeah.
Drogue, primary, secondary, if it's bad, cutaway, reserve. That's the tandem sequence. You learn that shit in your sleep. Drogue, primary, secondary, cutaway, reserve. And then if you fly the old vectors, there's a ball right here that's connected to your reserve parachute that you can pop if you need it.
Yeah.
And the racer maybe has something, not the racer, what was the other one? What was the old school dude, the old school tandems? Not the vectors, not the strongs.
No.
There was that other one that Bill Doss made back in the day that anybody can jump without a rating. Because tandem ratings,
jumped those.
Look at this dude. Left, what are you doing? Of course you're on your back. Listen, there was a rig... There's a rig that we could take kids on back in the day because there was no manufacturer.
No.
Because Eclipse. Do you ever jump an Eclipse?
Oh, an Eclipse. No, I never did.
Yeah, dude. Did you ever jump the What's the little box reserve? What's the little box thing? FXCs.
Oh.
You remember the FXCs?
No.
The AAD.
No, I never.
Oh shit.
I never jumped one.
No, don't thumbs up me. If I was your cameraman, I'd be pissed off. Hey man.
Well, one of the things that other tandem instructors remark to me is that James gets his drogue out fast, and I don't know if that's I don't want to say that I could never end up in that situation.
You will never end up in that situation.
But as fast as I throw that drogue, I don't see me ever being in that situation.
Now, free flyers of the world, badasses of the world, I am not endorsing James. Ew, roll out, fucking chill. Right? Dump the drogue, give it a 10-second, 8-second delay, fucking fly that shit. That dude, that's not what happened, James. So Ernie Long used to throw the drogue into the door. He'd scoot to the edge, and if you were behind him, he'd hit you in the face with his drogue because he doesn't want to do that shit. And we
not messing around.
We were like, why is he doing that? And like, oh, he doesn't want to fucking fight.
Oh, Rick Horn was the name I was trying to remember.
Rick Horn taught your course.
Taught my pre-AFF course.
There you go. What up, Rick?
Yep.
So, that dude, what happened is he reached the wrong side, didn't feel the drogue, panicked, de-arched, went to his back, tandem side spin. That's your fault. Normally on Friday freakouts, I say I'm sorry. Man, one more time. I know you probably played it 5 times. One more time. Come on, man. You earned that fucking rating. I had to earn my fucking rating. Like, you can't do that shit, dude. You reached the wrong side, then you de-arched. Why don't you just stay arched and fucking go to the other side?
I'd be curious to know how much tandem experience he had.
No, he looks pretty fucking confident in the door. Look at the cameraman, and he doesn't look stressed.
But so do a lot of young tandem instructors. Like, I've got to imagine that he learned from that, right?
I hope so, dude. Yeah, okay. Thank you, James. See, he has twice as many jumps as me, guys. Look, that's an old Vibe free fly suit. I wonder who shot this video. Who is that? It's not one of my boys. Boom. Wrong side, jackass.
Yeah.
Now you're on your back. Cameraman did something weird, so both of you guys are inexperienced. And now, now your tandem side spin phenomenon. These are the videos they scare you with in the tandem.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Throw the drogue, dude. What do you think you're going to do? Outfly that guy? Never.
No, you're never
going to outfly that guy. Don't thumbs up me. Watch what he does. Yeah. Hey, man, I'll buy you a beer for talking shit about you, okay? If that, I don't know you, though. That's good I don't know you.
Well,
you wouldn't like me either.
I can remember when I maybe not my tandem rating, but my AFF rating.
Come on, man. You got to demand more of yourself than that in life.
Well,
dude, sit flying with you because you're going so. Dude, cameraman, sit flying. You see the knees?
Yeah.
Cameraman, sit flying with your fucking ass.
Oh yeah, they're hauling ass.
Oh, geez, around his leg. Oh, in your leg.
You got lucky.
Oh, you got to keep your Vans. You lucky dude.
But listen, we all screw up, right?
Yes, we do. You get to screw up too.
And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Is that
such a better person?
It's a learning experience, right? It doesn't. It doesn't mean that the person is wrong, or it means he will probably never do that again.
That's true.
And I've screwed up, and you've screwed up. I know you have.
I'm jealous because I was demanded. My standard was demanded. I had to be way better than that.
Well,
I had to be way better than that. If that happened to me, I would have got kicked off the drop zone, dog. You know what I mean? Like I was playing a different game than those cats.
This whole kicking off the drop zone thing, like you can be kicked off the drop zone for the most minor offense, right? True. But those same things, if they were turned into teaching opportunities, could make an excellent jumper out of that person. So you either kick them off the drop zone or you teach them.
You're so much, no. You're just a better person than me, and that's what I'm learning. That's why I meditate in the sauna in the morning, and microdose and shit. I'm trying to be a better person like James fucking Ted. So
I mean,
where's the book?
The book.
There's the book. James, I love you, man. Hey, I've always loved you, man.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to hang out like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's always like a bunch of good food and a fire and lots of laughter when we hang out. So we never really get one-on-one time because it's just like we're so... No,
I don't think we've ever hung out one-on-one, really. It's always been with
the groups.
With the group.
But I respect that you're me in this world. I can see myself in you. And I'm like, dude, that's me.
Same, yeah. Well, I feel that way when I hear you with your students. That's exactly... I see a kindred spirit, really,
exactly.
Because I can see that you're trying to get the best out of them, and you're not, there's so much ego in skydiving and anything like this that you're always trying to put other people down in order to feel like you're the top dog. I don't sense that from you at all.
No, I don't need that shit.
I sense that you're trying to give the best of yourself to your student, and that's always how I've felt about it, and I totally respect that about you.
Respect, James.
Yeah.
All right, we're reading from No Shit That I Was, Thought I Was Gonna Die.
No shit, there I was. All right. This is called Life Was Perfect.
All right.
Let me start by saying that Jim Bohr scared the crap out of me. I always thought that at any moment he would kick my ass just for the fun of it. According to my logbook, this jump was on August 12th, 1974, my 232nd jump. It was a 3-man scrambles in Rainbow, Wisconsin. They drew names, and as luck would have it, I was on Jim's team along with some wide-eyed new guy. We decided to just throw him out as base. That's what you do with a new guy.
That's always
He's the
thrown
base.
out as base.
Suddenly we were socked in. The scrambles were called off in what looked like an endless weather hold. The next thing I knew, I'm doing bongs with Jim in his van. We were so loaded.
Shout out to Jim.
As I lay in the van listening to Pink Floyd, suddenly I heard the planes winding up.
That's what you get.
Yeah. Uh-oh. The scrambles were on.
Every time.
I had to help Jim find his rig. I had visions of death going around in my mind. I had never jumped stone before. It was.
What?
Honesty?
Never.
No, never. As we got close to jump altitude, we were dodging little thunderheads. That's for real. You got thunderheads.
Yep.
All right. Jim was kneeling next to the pilot and spotting, directing the pilot towards the large, dark gray thunderhead.
Yep.
Toward it.
Yep.
The pilot, who was wearing a baseball cap, was shaking his head no. Of course he was.
No, dude.
No. I'm not going into the thunderhead. No.
Hey, if you guys don't know, back in the day, you would sit on your knees and spot the plane with the pilot. Like, and tell him left, right.
Yes.
There, yeah.
This is another
dude say go
comfort thing. Yeah. People get comfortable with the green light coming on. They don't learn how to spot.
Learn how to spot. We used to have to fly the plane to our spot. It wasn't like look out and hope you're at the right spot. It'd be like, no, dude, go that way.
The jumper was responsible. Yeah.
Yep.
Jim grabbed the back of his neck and squeezed. I guess he was afraid of Jim too, because the next thing I knew, we were being buffeted around inside this rather angry cloud.
Jim fucking punked the pilot.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Just as I had come to terms with my demise. We came out on the other side.
Uh-huh.
There was the DZ.
Jim's a beast.
Out we went, and it was an awesome jump. It was a great jump, really fast. As soon as I hit the air, all the fear was gone, and life was perfect. That's the title, Life Was Perfect. And this guy's name, Lloyd Tosser III. That's why I chose the story. Lloyd Tosser.
Lloyd Tosser
the third.
Hey, man. If you guys know anybody at the FAA that can help, or if not, just keep in mind that tandem instructors love what they're doing. That's why they're drenched in sweat, and they're dropping the rig, and they're fucking sprinting into the plane.
They're not just drogue tossers.
It's not what you think, man. Those guys are having way more fun than you did in your fucking bullshit zoo dives. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I've done them both. I've done them all. You know I don't jump with y'all motherfuckers. Man, keep your head on a swivel. Hook that shit. We love y'all. WazzyCircus Radio, WazzyCircus Adventures California coming up. WazzyCircus Costa Rica coming up. Y'all want coaching. It doesn't matter who you get it from. I Fly Austin's badass. Austin Ketchens, Dusty Shaw, Drew Steele, Eric Revore.
Austin Ketchings.
Hey, James.
The man I couldn't teach.
Last thing. Say something about your home drop zone.
There's a lot of people come out from the city, and they come out to Lexington, and I hear them take a deep breath and sigh, and they say, man, it's just so relaxed out here. And you think about it, like you go to... What kind of experience do you want when you go skydiving? Do you want to be freaked out by the instructors, by the busyness of the place, by the insanity that's going on all around you? Or do you want it to be chill? And I really think this place is unique in that. Yeah, I mean, you've been there. You know that.
I teach there.
You teach. I mean, the whole atmosphere is chill, and the instructors are not shouting at you, or they're not crazy. They're just we're very relaxing and calming, and I just love that atmosphere. And if I were a first time person jumping, that's what I would want from my experience.
I would replace the word chill with confident.
Well, that too, yeah.
It's not chill like we don't give a fuck.
Right.
It's we got this.
Yeah.
The landing
You're
area
in good
is
hands.
a mile long of mowed grass, and it's smooth, and it's the biggest landing area you've ever seen in your life. Oklahoma Skydive Center has a comparable one. It's just we are confident in what the fuck we're doing. And like I start my courses there with you guys, and then we go to Lone Star to get bigger plane experience. But everybody comes back to home, you know. And with those cabins, dude, it's a deluxe experience.
It's nice, and you know that's what we alluded to earlier, is that our main job as instructors is psychology. We're there to make the people feel like they're in good hands, and there's nothing. You know, we don't have to scare them any more than they already are. They already bring the fear to their experience, and our job is to mitigate that fear and make them feel like, oh, maybe this is something I can do after all.
So yeah, that is the difference. We used to torment our jumpers at larger drop zones because you see 20 a day.
Yeah,
it's just the next person scare the shit out of them. In a 182 drop zone, you actually get to know their grandkids, their kids, their story, their life occupation. Their
oftentimes these are neighbors, you know.
Yeah.
These are people that we know from our community. So,
right, man. All right, guys, love y'all. We go all day, son. Patreon helps. I don't know what else to say. Support your local free flyer. Hook that shit, baby. I need a Valkyrie. Come see me. Later, man. Good show. Yeah. Wazzy World. We did it, James. That was a good show.
Yeah, fuck yeah.